Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia and my channel is all about art and craft. And in today's video, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to do an acrylic painting, and once it's completed and dried, we're going to turn this into a greeting card. Now, I'm going to have to bring it up a bit so that you might be able to see. You probably can't see all the lines that I've got there because I'm trying to keep them as light as possible. But what I've done is I've sketched on just a sort of basic drawing of what I sort of had in my mind. Now, I don't generally work from reference photos. This is just something that just popped into my head and I just sketched it on. So we've got a mountain in the background here, and then we've got like a pretty much like a cliff where you're going to have a waterfall, and you've got some bushes there, and you've got the water area here. And the colours that I'll definitely be using, and I'll say definitely because I actually do have some other colours sitting to the side just in case I decide I want to use them, but I'm going to do my best to stick with what I've got here. So we've got titanium white, cadmium yellow medium, yellow ochre, crimson, sap green, cerulean blue, phthalo blue, burnt sienna, and burnt umber. And burnt umber. And yes, this is not my normal palette that I use, but I decided I was just going to use that. And I'm going to use this area here to just quickly mix some colours up. Because what I was trying to do is sort of have all this in view as well. Now, what I'm also going to do is, while I'm doing the painting, I'm actually going to speed it up. So I'll have some music playing for you guys. And as I say, I'm going to speed it up a little bit just to make sure that the video doesn't take too long. And hey, if you want me to do a tutorial on how I do these paintings, do leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely will do one for you guys if you're interested. So I've been sort of thinking about it, and I've made a couple of decisions. Now, I've signed it and everything. Now what I want to do is I actually want to emboss around the edges where it's white, but I also want to put a little bit of embossing powder on the actual picture itself. But I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm going to pull it off. So, completely new way of doing things, that's fine, we can do this. What I'm going to do is, instead of using my clear embossing ink, I'm actually going to use the archival ink, and hopefully it'll stay wet enough, long enough, in order to use some black embossing powder. And that basically then creates a nice little frame, and hopefully I can get it pretty much on the edge along the line. So, and I've still been sort of thinking about how am I going to do this, but I think it can be done. So if we go over it, we go over it. I'm just going to give it a go. So what I'm going to do is ink up this side. And yes, I am going over it a bit. Never mind. Hang on. Let's just hold it this way. It might help. It might not even work. I'm not sure. We can only try. And of course, having such a big ink pad doesn't really help. However, I'm sure I can do this. But I've got the feeling it's already dry. So, let's see what happens. Yep, here, get it all in your ink pad, of course. Silly me. I'm just going to do it off camera. And I've got the feeling it didn't really work. Okay. That's okay. Because I'm going to use now my embossing ink. And you know what? I think we can do this. I think we can do this. It's just going to be a little trickier, that's all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other 3 sides off camera, so I don't bore you guys to death, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now that I've done that, what I'm thinking of doing is putting a little bit of the holographic embossing powder just along the waterfall and a little bit sort of around here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ink pad, my embossing pad, and kind of fold it a little bit so I can just get the edge of the pad to touch it. Now I'm going to add the holographic embossing powder to it. So it's just got a little bit of glitter there, not too much, because we don't want it overpowered. And there we have it. So we've got that side of things done. And unfortunately, the heat gun did kind of burn the acrylic paint a little bit, especially where the white is. That's where it's noticeable. But you know what? it's almost like there's a reflection from the sun or something there, so I'm not concerned about it, okay? This was just an experiment, and okay, not such a good idea with acrylic paints. That's cool, was worth a shot. What we're going to do is remove this bit of paper, and I might have to give this a bit of a wipe. I'll just grab an old dirty rag and try and wipe off this glitter. Yeah, right. Come on, be real. You're not going to get it off. There. Never mind. Okay. I'll move this out of the way a bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run some double-sided tape right along the edges, and I'll probably put it maybe a couple of strips in the middle here as well, which means it's nice and strong, and that's what we want. We want nice strong tape because the paper has warped a little bit after using the heat gun. I was being so good by taping it down while I was painting. However, these things are here to try us at times. Excuse me, give me my finger back. Thank you. Here we go. And go about there. Put one here. And one about here. Now, I'm going to go off camera so I can get the backing off real quick without taking up your time. And as soon as I've got the backing off, I'll be straight back. Okay, I've learned a lesson, guys. It's called take the tape off camera. You know why? It came off awfully quick. So, what we want to do is line it up the top here. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to grab quickly my L ruler. I'm going to shove that in there like that. Okay. The reason for this is because we want to make sure we get it smack in the corner, and what we can do is butt up against the top there and then bring it down like so. See? Just like that. There we go. Now what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put something down the bottom here. Now I haven't thought about it, and I'm thinking about it right this second. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put thank you kind of in the middle, and we want to use the black embossing powder again. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm using the Memento ink, and I'm just going to ink this up really well. I think that should do it. And we'll find roughly the middle. Press down. Give it a second and pull it away. And of course I've got ink all over it, but that's okay. And put our embossing powder over the top. Grab a brush, get rid of some of it. Because what did I forget again? Yep, you guessed it. Okay, and then I'll quickly heat it. Okay, now I'm actually thinking about putting something else on there. So, what I'm going to do is have a quick squeeze in my little stamp collection that's growing on a regular basis. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay, give this a quick wipe over so I don't get the ink all over my hands, considering I already got some on my hands. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on its side, like so. And I'll move my little paddy down. And what we're going to do is stamp this one up nicely, if it lets me. It's speeding up a little bit, but never mind. I'm not going to wipe it off and try again. That's just, yeah. No time for that. Lay it down. Press down. Lift up. And I was such a good girl and put the lid back on, except we weren't done yet. Okay. And then we're going to do it again on this side. Turn that off. You know what? We don't make mistakes. So I'm going to do the edges with some ink. There we go. And I'm going to wipe this clean. I'll work out later where I got it from. And what we're going to do with this, look at that. How did I get ink on me? Isn't the ink supposed to be elsewhere and not on me? Oh, I don't know. Okay. What are you doing over there? And I'll just put it kind of in the center. It'll do. Grab my scissors. There. Okay. Wrap the card back. We'll take the tape off. And line it up the best we can. Hopefully I've got it. Yeah, that's pretty much on. There we have it. Check it out. What I'm actually going to do with this card is I'm going to stamp something on the inside because, as I already mentioned, this card is for somebody in particular, and I'd like to put something very positive, a very positive message in here. Now, while I was looking for something to put on the front, I had already found the perfect one, and it's called Don't Forget to Be Awesome, and that too will get embossed because I reckon it deserves it. Now, have I got it kind of straight on here? Hang on, guys. I promise I won't be much longer. It looks crooked to me. Yeah, about that. Okay, I'm going to be using the archival ink this time around. But before I do, I'm using my magic pouch. Yeah, hopefully I'm kind of there. Beautiful. Okay, and we're going to stick that right about there. Don't wiggle, girl. Like so. Hopefully it did work. I think it did. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it? That's it. It's just got that little tiny bit of spark there. I reckon that's a perfect card. Now I'm going to have to put this over to one side before I make more mess. Really? Oh. Apparently I'm a messy girl today. But there you have it. So as you can see, if you're really good at painting, you can do a painting and put it on a card. It makes it so much more special. Alright, now I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, do subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get notified for more videos, if you like to see more, of course, that is. And until next week, I'll catch you then. Bye.